Okay, hi. So I just wanted to talk about a couple of parts of my project in this video. So one of the things I want to talk about is my research sketchbook. So like I've talked about in my other videos, one of the parts of this trip is to come and do some research and to draw and paint on site. And so as I went to Delphi and Lavadia, I was able to do that and kind of decide what sites were important to me to observe and take note of. So I'll show at the end of this video the places that I drew and the images that I created. These really are just reference points for myself that I will hopefully be able to incorporate into the larger story. But it's been really great to be able to come and really see these places in person. Like I talked about with Lavadia, it was just really such a beautiful experience to be there. So yeah, when I was in these places, I was thinking about where will the characters be, how will they interact with these spaces. So that will be determined, but I wanted to kind of use this video to show that work. So yeah, I will share that here. The other thing that I want to talk about is that I've also been wanting to go to the library and do more research. I found that doing research on the muses is really difficult because they don't really have specific long texts that are dedicated to them. The way that literary characters interacted with the muses was by calling on them before they began a journey, which means that really the only information we have about them is through these kind of dedicatory summons, I guess, or like almost prayer-like poetry that the heroes of stories would start their journey with. So they would summon a specific muse or maybe all of the muses to guide them on their journey. So I think like Odysseus does that. I know that there's quite a few, but it's kind of difficult to find more than just a paragraph or two on what I found out is Mnemosyne, the mother of the muses, and then the 9 muses themselves. So I haven't learned a lot more about them, just like a couple of things. Like I learned that there was this singing contest between the real muses and these fake muses, like characters that were pretending to be the muses. And so when they had a singing contest, then the true muses were made known. Another thing I thought was interesting is that one of the muses, Melpomene, it's a lot of M and N's together. But that it's supposed that Melpomene is the mother of the sirens. So I thought that was interesting that the muses and the sirens are related in Greek mythology. And then I also did some research on the oracle, like I talked about being interested in that. And I found a really good book that kind of compares a bunch of different prophecies by the oracle and some observations on the types of like prophecies they would give. So like one that I can remember off my head is that they told somebody to beware of chariots. And so this person had like all of their chariots in their vicinity burned, but then he was killed and stabbed by someone who had a sword that had a chariot emblem on the sword. And there were a lot of kind of those stories where like the suggestion or the warning that was given was correct, but it was interpreted incorrectly by the person who was seeking the wisdom and prophecy from the oracle. So I thought that like it was kind of funny and I think also maybe insightful into human nature, that like we want wisdom, but then we often misinterpret the wisdom that we're given, and like it, I guess, kind of a Oedipus Rex kind of situation where they were given a prophecy, everything that they did contributed to making the prophecy come true instead of just kind of like living. Yeah, so I think that's an interesting, I don't know, kind of reflection on Greek mythology and its insight into human psychology. So I will be thinking about how to incorporate that into my story. I have a scene that I've already written where Demi kind of seeks out an oracle. So I guess we'll see what will come of that and how she'll respond, and whether that will play into these ideas of kind of everything going wrong or not. Yeah, whatever. Like I have lots of thinking to do, lots of kind of taking this trip in and then seeing, I guess like letting it soak in and figuring out how to process it and apply it to the story. So I'm glad that I have a pretty, I guess I haven't talked about this part, but I've, pretty much written the better part of the script. I definitely have more editing and adjustments to make, but yeah, but I definitely feel like this trip has been really informative. I feel like I've got more research to do, but I have some direction. So yeah, let's keep going.